Welcome to the MMHP in the 989, channeling all styles and eras of Michigan music history. Recorded live from the Michigan Rock Legends Hall of Fame, located inside the Bay County Historical Museum.
From the city by the bay.
Featuring Dr. J, Fred Reif, Mr. Mike, and your host, Scott Baker. Brought to you by the 989 Podcast Network and the Michigan Rock Legends Hall of Fame, located at the Bay County Historical Society Museum at 321 Washington Avenue, Bay City, Michigan.
We're podcasting from the Michigan Rock and Roll Legends Hall of Fame at the Historical Museum of Bay County, located at 321 Washington Avenue in downtown Bay City.
We are here upstairs with the whole gang. Mr. Mike, how you doing? Doing good. All right, Sir Fred, how's it going?
Good. I'm doing good.
How's that book coming? We haven't had an update in a while.
I'm stuck. I'm trying to figure out how Willie Branch became Tyrone Davis. Where did the name come from?
We need to get that out to the audience here. Hopefully,
I've tried on Facebook, and no one could come up with an answer yet. Because it's such a different name.
Completely. I remember you saying something about that recently. Dr. J, you're getting out of town here for a few months. How are you?
Right, just about ready to leave for New Jersey. My son Brennan and I are going to work on a new historical video for the museum. It's called Motor City Fever, and it's going to deal with some of the Motor City's early R&B artists, including the Diablos, Andre Williams, Hank Ballard and the Midnighters, Little Willie John, and the Falcons. So excited about putting that together. Wow. Should be ready this summer.
Wonderful. Another thing to look forward to. Here. We have a special guest in the house. He's a Bay City resident that's been all around the state, if not more. He'll tell us his story. I don't want to give it all away. But I grew up, this was the first, I saw you, my first concert I ever saw was you playing in the 70s. When my dad, who was your best friend, at St. John's Music Festival.
That's right. I remember you.
And I was just blown out of the water by the trumpets and saxophones and clarinets.
At the time, you were about 3 foot tall.
What happened?
Now look at you, Scott.
Boy, did that come out different in the end there. Hey? Oh, that was an amazing day. I'll never forget the first time hearing live music. It changed everything. That had to be 76, 77 when somewhere around there.
We played St. John's a lot. Every year we go to St. John's. There's a fellow over there that kept on it. I can't think of his name. His name was John. I can't. Every year they come around, that festival come up, he'd get in touch with us and would you play the festival? Naturally, we keep that date open, just for that. Because we had such a remarkable time over there, and it really drew a crowd. Those crowds back in the day, I mean, when you had a festival or a polka dance, I mean, you brought people in.
We are hearing the voice of the one and only Gary Taylor, multi-instrumentalist woodwind. Particular
multi-instrumentalist.
I remember hearing you did the clarinet and you did the saxophones, and then you were I think you were a band leader when I saw you by that point, right?
Yeah.
Which is the 45 Fred brought here.
Well, I'm not. I think Pat had the band when we were at St. John's, and I myself had the band when we were at St. John's. Well, as it was, we started out as the Starliners with Pat Lepeak and the Starliners. Well, we recorded that album with Pat Lepeak and the Starliners. And we were together, I don't know, I can't even think how long, but Pat decided he wanted to be a dentist, so that's what happened. He went back to school to be a dentist, and he took up dentistry, and he moved to Florida, and I took over the band. Everybody looked at me. I said, "Well, okay, I'll take it."
That's a good story.
So I had the band probably, Scott, maybe about 7-8 years, up until around 80, 81. Then I turned it over to, let it go to Tom Skripjack, a trumpet player that was playing with me at the time, because I had a bow out for different reasons.
Well, Gary, take us back to, you grew up in Bay City, right?
Yes.
Were you in
All my
Colorado,
life.
Bay City? Or?
Yeah, in the Banks region.
The Banks region, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I started out, I was on Raymond Street when I was a small little tykester. Then from Raymond Street, we moved over to State Street, not State Street, but King Street. We lived there for a while, where I attended St. Mary's School. Then for about 3 years, then I went over to Visitation. We moved on Asaba Road in Bay City. And I attended Visitation for, 7 years, 6 years. Then we moved again to Winona Street. Then I went to Handy High School. Then that's where I went into Handy High School.
That's when the music started?
Right. And, your dad and I were in the band together.
Yeah.
And 4 glorious years. And remember them well.
Was that the first year that you picked up the clarinet, or was it before that?
Oh, no.
Or saxophone?
I picked up the clarinet back when I was at Visitation.
Did you?
Yeah.
Before high school?
In intermediate school, I was probably maybe about 7 years old, something like that. I remember it was a big, long steel clarinet.
Steel?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Really?
a steel clarinet. They made them steel.
Was that a rental like it then, or did your mom and
it
dad
was a
purchase
rental.
it?
Yeah. And had that for a while. Then my dad bought me a genuine wood clarinet, and come together in 4 sections.
Yep.
And I had that and took private lessons. And
Private lessons.
Yeah.
It seemed to be a big thing back then.
Oh, yeah. And it took him from Jim Bennett over on Henry Street in Bay City. And he was really an accomplished musician. He directed the Saginaw Symphony Orchestra.
Yeah.
He took me a couple times, and I had a VIP seat right in the front row where he directed the orchestra. And I feel really like a top dog, I tell you. I was just a little young guy,
Yeah.
But
Those were the junior high days there.
pardon me?
Your junior high days, right?
Yes, yes.
What did your mom and dad, were they really instrumental in you picking up the instrument?
Oh,
or how
yes.
did it come forward
Yeah,
to you?
especially my dad. My dad really was pushing that, and I really had a love for music. I loved music since I was just a little guy. I just loved it.
Were you always into polka music?
Not always, Gary. I just loved all kinds of music. Not I should say not all kinds, but classical. I like classical. It sounds funny, a little guy, but I did. I liked classical, and I listened to polkas on Sunday mornings. That's as far as I got with polkas.
Okay.
But I mean, polkas were polkas. I listened to Stan Javitzky and Chet Kalpinski had a polka show.
Right, they were on the radio,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I played-
WBC.
I played softball with Stan Javitsky's son, Richie.
Oh, Rich, yeah.
I think he used to be on the show. Little Richie or something like that, was he on the show?
He was
periodically?
once in a while. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious about when you lived in Banks. How old were you?
In Banks, well, I say in the Banks area. I'm not right down in Banks. I lived on a Sabo Road. That's right north of Visitation Church.
Okay, so you were a ways.
Yeah, a ways down.
All right,
Probably about 2 blocks down from Visitation Church.
All right, so you probably didn't smell the Dow chemical plant from there?
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
All
we
right.
smelled it.
Okay.
Number 2.
And,
There we go. All right.
And the sugar plant, too.
Oh, well, yeah, you got it from both
Had
sides.
the 2-in-1. Big bonuses.
Oh, boy. What a thrill.
They didn't have marijuana back then, but boy, we were kids. We had it made. We had it made. We had it right in our lap.
That's funny.
Yes, I just I love music, and I love playing in the handy band together with your dad, Scott.
Yeah.
Who was the band director back then? Was it Mr. White? Was he?
Mr. White.
Holy
we call
mackerel.
him Daddy White. Yep, Daddy White.
You had a big orchestra for a band.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys recorded records of your performances.
right.
I think I have one of you guys still.
Yeah,
Well, I'm betting that it was Art Schiell who recorded those.
that's right. And I got all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he recorded them on tape, reel-to-reel tape. Then he brought them back to the studio. Then he cut individual LPs. He cut them.
Art cut his own
Yeah,
pressings.
cut them on
I'll be dang.
a lathe.
Wow.
On a lathe.
Did you ever get a chance to go over to the studio?
Oh, plenty of times.
Oh, really?
Because I was so. He had a stereo system set up there that would blow you away. I mean, it was a kind of something to play your recordings back on or just listen to things. And this is back when stereo was in its beginning days.
Right. Well, he's always been described as an audiophile.
Right. And he was.
Yeah. At that time, was his recording studio in the basement or was it upstairs?
No, it's on the upstairs, and his recording equipment was a big Ampex recorder, big 4-channel.
4-channel Ampex.
Big one.
Big one. with the good.
Yeah, back in those days, 4-channel, my God, with 2-inch tape.
He ran 2-inch tape.
15 IPS.
He ran 2-inch tape. That's so expensive. I would have thought it would have been a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know.
That's massive. Woo.
Oh,
Well, that's why those rock and roll records that he produced over there sounded so good.
Yeah.
It always amazed me that with 96 Tears, that those recordings were considered good enough that when Question Mark and the Mysterians went and recorded in New York City, that they used the 2 original recordings that Art Schiell did. And they were put on the album.
no kidding.
They were that good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
Well, coming
that's
off
always
of
impressive.
a tape.
Yeah.
Of a tape, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, to get back there, those cuttings, those records. I mean, I had all the records.
And these are the handy records.
Yeah, the
The
handy
orchestra.
records, all of the midwinter concerts.
Yes.
Yeah, and I listened to them once in a while here and there, and they got so bad that I said, this is when the CD come into play. Well, I take that back. I recorded them. I had a reel-to-reel tape recorder. I recorded them all on reel-to-reel first. Then I tossed the records.
Oh.
Yeah. Now the CDs come in. Then I made a 3rd generation recording on the CDs.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all the concerts on CDs.
I'm going to have to get those from you. I didn't
Yeah.
realize you
You got
digitized them.
You got them.
Oh,
I may
goodness.
have
Every one
one
of
of the
them.
records.
Yeah, Lane Valier comes up with those periodically.
Yeah.
You'll find them in garage
shops.
sales and different things like that.
And they recorded more than your 4 years at Handy. They recorded past that.
Oh,
and
sure.
Oh, he
before
did
that.
all
Sure.
kinds of things. They had that Aqua Dance. what were they called, the aqua nets or something like that at handy, where they had synchronized swimming in the pool.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
he would
remember.
record
Yeah.
the songs for their routines.
Well, he did.
Yeah, and he'd put them together so that they were exact. Whatever it was, a 6-minute routine, he would put it together and splice them together so they had an exact 6-minute recording for their routine. Yeah, he did a lot of interesting things. Were you ever at a wedding that he recorded?
No.
Because that was another thing he had going.
I don't.
And he had a portable tape recorder, and he would bring it to the ceremony and set it up so he could hear the vows. And
Or the wedding, the vows itself?
Right.
Yeah, not the reception?
Well, yeah, it would be the church music and the vows, and he would put it together on an LP. I think it was $25. This, of course, is the days before videotape or anything like that.
Right.
And so you had an LP recording of your wedding ceremony. Yeah, it was. Yeah, he had a lot of different things going.
Didn't we run into somebody? Was it you, Fred, that found a wedding one, or Mike, or somebody had one?
Well, we've got one at the
Okay.
museum. And when I started doing stories on Art Schiell and what he recorded there, a lady, I think they were living in Florida, and they had been married for 50 years, and they had played that LP
That's the story.
on their anniversary every year. And after the 50th anniversary, they donated it to the museum. And not only that, they still had Art Schiell's business card
That's the
that they
story.
got. And he had this little, where you could make recordings. It was almost like on cardboard. He had these little recordings that were like advertisements, where he would apparently, if
What
some,
were those, 78s or 45s? I remember those.
they were 78s.
Yeah.
They were 78s.
Yeah.
And they would only lasted about 3 minutes, but it has some
I remember
church
those.
music, and it had Art Schiell's voice kind of talking about what he would record for you. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. Yeah, so, well, that's really interesting that you got to go into his studio and see how the operation
I was
worked.
in there more than once.
Yeah.
Somebody had come over, a buddy of mine or something, and I didn't know anything about, sound or I hadn't heard stereo as it was. It was just coming out, I said, maybe Art Schiell would show you something, show you a little bit, give you a little demo. And let's go over there. So I did this more than once, So we went over there and knocked on this door, and I says, Art, say, would you give this guy a little demo of your system? And he said, well, sure, come on in. So come in there, and he'd run a demonstration disc or tape like you wouldn't believe. I mean, he had a huge enclosure against the wall, like one speaker, like maybe a coaxial, triaxial, I don't know what it was, on one end, and the rest was blank. I mean, that was all baffled.
Soundproofing.
Oh my God, it was something.
Well,
really
we've got a
remember?
picture of Art right behind you there in front of his house.
When was that taken?
Oh yeah.
That photo, the house looked like that right up until probably about 2000, I'm going to say 2014 or 2015, when the current residents remodeled it. And now, if you look directly behind you, there's a sign that I donated because it's where 96 Cheers was recorded. It still has the same front door, with that rounded front door, but they put stone facing on it, and they added a garage and some rooms up over the garage.
Was the bay window there? The bay window?
Well, it was different.
Oh, this.
Yeah, you can't really see the window, but they in the remodeling, the new window is different from the old bay window.
Okay. All right.
We've also got a picture of the recording studio. We don't have it up there, but it's the only picture I've ever seen of the recording studio with him in the booth
Oh, yeah.
and his wife And he did a lot of church music, and they were recording some some sacred songs apparently when that picture was taken. But yeah, fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Did you know Frank Piplinski at all of Lucky's Record Shop?
Yes. Oh, very much.
Yeah,
Yes.
Lucky,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, had some kind of arrangement with Art.
Right,
and-
the 45s,
Yeah.
you get one free.
Well,
10,
there,
I think
right.
it was 10 45s, you get one
exactly.
free. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have one of those cards there
Oh,
too?
all the time.
Oh, okay.
And my secret little 3x5 card there. He pulled me out. What's going to
Okay.
be today, Gary?
Oh yeah, exactly. All right. I was the same way.
Yeah.
Lucky put out some 45s, some polka music
Yeah.
on his own label. I think it was the Lux label.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
And Gene Guizdala, did you know Gene?
Yeah. Oh, played with him. Yeah.
Yeah, Gene recorded a whole album with Art Schiell.
Probably Grandma's Oberek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was, right.
I think Gene, he got out there and I think he was one of the first outside of Tommy Reeder to record anything, And Stan recorded something way back. Maybe he was on a 78. I'm not sure. Maybe before my day, but I remember Gene and his Grandma's Oberek. That went wild.
Yeah, that was a big hit
Oh,
for
yeah,
him, right?
that was
the
big.
one he was famous for.
I have
Oh,
two
yeah.
copies of that one too.
Yeah.
How about John Lipinski?
Oh, yeah. Played with him too. in his
Okay.
Big band. Not
The Satin Brass?
The Satin Brass, yep.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Did John ever tell you about his experience with Elvis Presley when he was in the Army?
Many times.
Okay.
Many times. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Not just only me, everybody.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
everybody knows Elvis, so certainly that's a good one.
Yeah.
What was the first polka band that you got in?
First polka band? Well, it's kind of, it wasn't really a polka band. It was when I was a freshman in Handy. A freshman in Handy, and a guy I went to school with, a kid I went to school with at visitation called me up. He says, Gary, he says, would you like to form a band with me? Help me form a band, I should say. And he says, well, what do you got? He says, I play accordion, and I'm getting a drummer. I got a drummer, and if you could get a horn player and a bass player, could you do that? And I happened to think, and I thought of Daryl Smith.
Oh, that's a name I dad
Yeah,
you talk
you know
about.
Daryl.
Yeah.
And so I got him, then Fred Schmidt. He was on bass, a stand-up bass. So I asked both those guys, sure. So we got together, and we got together as a combo. Not necessarily a polka band, but it was, I didn't really know what polkas were. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know, but the music we played was sheet music.
Yeah.
Please release me, get a sheet music, put it on the bandstand, play it.
Yeah.
Two horns in unison, accordion in unison, drums, bass. Yeah, you got music, people are dancing, but
So you're kind of playing the hits of the days, so to speak?
Yeah,
Or at
right.
least standards,
Right.
that
And
everybody
if you were
And,
knows.
freshman, that's 56, 57.
somebody wants a polka, then we play Too Fat for Me, or Tick-Tock Polka, or Beer Barrel Polka, all the standard Frankie Yankovic polkas, But wasn't until, just back up a little bit, I was in an intermediate school. The intermediate band from Visitation, which I was in an intermediate band at Visitation, a marching band at Visitation. We got together with the St. Stan's band,
Wow.
and we just got there. I don't know what it was for. I think it was for a concert or something. Both bands got together, and I heard this clarinet player in the background. Boy, he was playing up a storm. What the heck? And he was just a little guy. I don't know, wow. And he I went and talked to him. He introduced himself as Tommy Reeder. And boy, he was playing some stuff that I never ever knew that could be played. I mean, it was really. Back in the day, they had they still Podgorski books, polka books. There's polkas and then polkas and polkas. There must be about a dozen of them. And the book consists of not like sheet music and quarter notes and eighth notes. We're talking quarter notes, eighth, 16th, 32nd, 64th, accidentals and key of E and D. And I said, whoa. I said, this is some stuff here. This is where I began to learn polka music. I got a hold of some of these Podgorski books and started playing some of these polkas that were polkas, not too fat for me polkas.
Right.
You know, the really good stuff, you know. And but anyway, that's we played jobs, wedding jobs, you know, like Sunday afternoons. Our combo there. That's when they had weddings on Sunday afternoons, and Saturday nights, and then we played. You know, just. I guess we were together maybe doing about 2-3 years.
This was that high school band you're talking about, the freshman band that you put together?
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
you played outside of school all through school?
Yeah, no, outside of school, in the
Yeah.
freshman,
Yeah, gigs.
earning money.
Yeah, gigs, yeah.
It,
While you were in high school?
right.
Wow.
So that was probably pretty good money for a high school
Yeah,
kid.
well, I think back then, probably everybody, there maybe $15-20 a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was big money.
Oh, you bet.
Oh, wow. This is good stuff. You know?
What years were you at Visitation?
That was
Well, back up from Handy, I went into Handy at 56.
Yeah.
So I was visitation for 5 years. 3 years at St. Mary's.
Okay.
5 years. So backing up, be 51. I'd be there in 51
Oh, okay.
to 56.
Anyway, my great aunt, Sister Peter Valancourt, was the principal of Visitation.
Oh,
I don't know what years she was, but it was back
Yeah. Geez, I would
back then. At least late 40s when my mom went there. And anyway,
I remember the Sisters of Mercy were there.
yeah, she
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
Sister of Mercy.
Yeah.
Peter, yep.
And
Sister
some of
Mary
them were
We're very merciful, right?
pretty
No,
unmerciful. Yeah, when somebody doing something wrong in back of you, you could hear a yardstick on their desk. Not necessarily on the desk, but there was flesh involved.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think maybe the habit had something to do with it because they went around with red faces. You know, I don't know. But anyway, it was good. They were good teachers. You know, they
Ran a tight ship.
yeah, on a tight ship is right, Gary. Very tight.
So you gigged while in high school, and then after you graduated, you continued. What was your next steps after high school?
After high school,
yeah.
1 year of junior college.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
That's at junior college then was the top floor of Central High.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's how
That's
Central
true.
got their gym.
I didn't know.
You know, that was the
Yeah,
junior
the
college
big gym, that was
Oh.
junior college's gym, the
Okay.
the new gym. That
The
was
old
junior
Central
college.
gym was, I mean,
Yeah, just-
that's a relic. That
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just like Andy's.
Yes,
Yeah, right,
Andy's
right.
very similar to
Right.
the old Andy gym.
Yeah.
So
So
the-
was junior college gym.
And you played music through junior college too, or no?
Yeah, I played in the pep band.
At school, okay.
Yeah, with the for basketball games.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
with and John Lipinski was in it, and a number of other guys were in it that I knew that played out. I can't think their names, but I remember John Lipinski. Oh, I played alongside John Lipinski in the pep band at JC. He went the same time I did, but yeah, it's just 1 year. But then after that, I got a job, and then after I got a job, I got married.
You still played music on the weekends, though? Was that something?
Nope.
No?
You don't now,
No.
but he said you did then.
Yeah.
Oh, then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you continued.
Oh, yeah.
When did you kind of specialize and become a really a polka musician as opposed to playing a little bit of everything?
I would say, well, out of the polka combo from Visitation, a guy by the name of Tom Liptowski asked me to play in his band. Well, he was a step forward. And he had his cousin play an accordion and a bass player, then him and a trumpet, and drummer. I can't think of, maybe it was the same drummer I had in the other band. But anyway, we played more polkas then than in the combo we had, but not really that much. I think you were asking me if we recorded in.
Well, I was just wondering if you had become like just a polka band, or you had just kind of continued to play some polkas and other music as well.
Well, we played other music all my playing days. We did play other music as well too.
All right.
And but we did record in this particular band, in Tom's band, Tom Liptowski's band. We played we recorded in Art Schiell's studio.
Oh, wow.
We made a little 45.
What was the name of that band?
Pardon me?
What was the name of that band?
The name of the band was Polkateers.
Polkateers. Okay.
So did that come out on one of Frank Piplinski's labels, on the Luck or Golden Triangle label?
That was cut.
Oh.
It was a lathe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't actually make
we
the
weren't
vinyl.
big time anyways. So, for our own satisfaction.
All right.
Yeah, we went there, cut it, and he, recorded it. Oh, no pun on words, I guess. But then he cut it on lathe for every member of the group, and then a few extra for, I guess, maybe parents, grandparents, whatever. And we made that 145.
Wow. So that was in the mid 60s, early 60s?
Yeah.
Early 60s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after that, when I really got into polka music, Pat Lepeak asked me if I wanted to come into their band. It was known as Casey Grahowski. You remember Casey Grahowski? He played in the Beaver Crump area all around. Well, anybody that heard that Casey Grahowski was going to be playing in a wedding, they got all excited because he had a good polka band. Mm-hmm. Well, in Casey Grahowski's band was Casey Grahowski on clarinet, Floyd Grahowski on drums, Pat Lepeak on trumpet, and Jim Lepeak on accordion. Well, Casey had bowed out, and they were looking for another clarinet player. So Pat come to me, and he knew me through Tom. He knew Tom Liptowski. Mm-hmm. So, not stabbing him through to the back or anything, I don't know. But anyway, I said, heck, I like polka music, and I know just what I was getting into. So I went to play with those guys, and they called themselves the Musical All-Stars. And this is just before this. We joined them. And when Floyd decided to quit, that's when Bill come in, the drummer here.
Okay.
And then you changed the name of the band?
Changed the name of the band.
Okay.
Pat took it over. it became the Starliners,
Okay.
right? And we played a number of years with Floyd, and Floyd was really singing Polish. He was a drummer, and he sang Polish. Wow, he could sing Polish. And but anyway, Floyd bought out, and Pat took over. He started singing Polish. Matter of fact, Pat and Jim, both of them, went to Delta to take up Polish,
Really?
learn Polish.
Wow.
And he started singing Polish.
Delta College had that as a class.
Yeah, they had a course. Yeah.
Jeez. So that was a real demand thing for polka bands to be able to actually sing in Polish?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. It still is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fading a little bit, I should say.
Well, probably, as that older generation
The older
that could really
generation.
appreciate it,
yeah.
it starts to fade
Right.
away. Right.
Were you hearing this on the radio when this came out?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Much.
So you were aware then of all the different kinds of polka music, the Czechoslovakian, the German,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the Polish. Mm-hmm. But everybody that you had hang with in the Bay City area was sticking with the Polish idea,
That's right.
which is
Right.
our big
Right.
Well,
South
you
End
as
thing.
a
Well,
horn
some-
player,
So, like you go to Frankenmuth, and they like the Bavarian, like Bavarian
Yeah.
style, like
German.
no horns,
So
right?
like they started out with Marv Herzog. Well, Linda Lee's carrying the torch now. She's got it, and she's playing at the Fisher what do you call
Bavarian
it?
Inn.
Fisher Platz at the Bavarian Inn all summer.
Okay.
Okay.
And she's very good. She draws the people in. She's an amazing personality. She's really, really, really a good person. I like Linda. And
So you still get out to enjoy some bands periodically?
well,
I know
periodically,
I know you're probably having a little trouble getting around right now, but
trouble getting around, but when I can, I definitely want to. I know there's a little activity going on around, and
You still
I
listen
guess-
to yourself on the radio too, like
definitely.
when you put this back out on CD recently. You said it was playing. you
Yeah.
were playing
Oh
songs.
yeah. On the polka shows.
What channels and shows are on right now that feature that?
Oh, it's awesome, Scott. Now they're going through internet. Now I don't know anything about
Streaming.
what's going through
Okay.
streaming. Yeah. Now what I got set up on my receiver at home, I've got Polka Jammer Network, which broadcasts polkas 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Newcastle Polka Radio, which comes out of Pennsylvania, and which basically is in Pennsylvania, but pulls in different studios around the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And that broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Then there's Polka Heaven, what do you call it?
Oh goodness.
Uh-huh. And that
Whole other
broadcasts
level.
24 hours. Should I say it again? 7 days a week. In which Kelly Grahowski is on. I don't know if you know Kelly. Okay. He's had his own band and played around. He's a terrific musician. He's been a DJ, a polka DJ in 103 north of here. I don't know what that is. It was a country station, I think.
Okay.
103. But anyway, after that went out, well, now he's internet, got an internet show. He's on 4 times a week. He broadcasts once, but he plays it 4 times.
Yeah.
Like 1 o'clock in the sunny afternoon. I think it's Tuesday and Thursday and 2 other times.
Okay.
And I don't know, he changed them a couple times. I can't remember the times, but
Isn't there still a local one?
I'm not sure.
I think
no,
Steve.
Steve Javitsky, right? Doesn't he have a show?
I don't know if he has one or not.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
because
not.
I keep getting notices on Facebook about don't forget to listen Sunday morning.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
No, who? Steve?
yeah,
Oh, he has. Oh, I didn't know. I I feel bad about this, but
Got out of the loop.
Well, you've got those channels that's 24 hours a
Polka
day, 7
Jammer,
days a
I
week.
Polka heaven is a.
That's right. You're in polka heaven.
You've really rolled out the barrel on that one.
yeah, it's really we spread it out on the internet. I tell you.
Well, when Steve was a guest here, he said that a lot of the younger generation now are not coming to the gigs. And polka music.
It's I don't know. I haven't been to dances in a while, but I know that the Dynabrass, a name band that originally come from Detroit. Now I think they're out of Ohio, but they come out with a couple of new songs. But they didn't come out with a hard disc copy, hard CD. They come out with files that you can get them on Spotify. I think Spotify and Apple and a couple other sites. We get their songs. They release a couple at a time. In a couple months, they'll release another couple. I guess there's going to come to about 6. And but it seems to be working out all right for them. But anyway, they got together with Lenny Gomulka. Ever hear of him? And they got together with him at a dance here about 2 weeks ago. And I think in Pulaski, Wisconsin somewhere, I think. I may be wrong on that, but I know they got together, Lenny Gomulka and the Dynabrass. And somebody with a camera recorded
Was it Mike?
a song. No. Recorded a song of the Dynabrass. And with Lenny Gomulka there, I mean, he's a puller, and the Dynabrass, they don't do bad themselves. He recorded the band, then he went over to the dance floor, and you see people standing watching the band. Nobody dancing. Nobody dancing. But you could look way down, there was about 2 or 3 couples dancing. I said, holy cow.
Different day.
Different day, different year, different time.
Yeah.
Wow. I just didn't believe it.
Well, you don't see people dancing as much
You
in any form of music anymore.
Mm.
It's
like St. Stan's. I understand why I used to go to St. Stan's
well,
festival.
there were always people on the floor there.
Oh, wow. Every year I'd go there. When I was working, I'd take time off. When I was working second shift, I'd take time off. I'd go there and go polka dance all 4 nights. And it was loaded. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was loaded. Now, my daughter went there Saturday, and this last year, in 23, and she said it was sparse.
Wow.
Sparse.
Well, everybody was drinking beer, though, right?
Yeah.
They just weren't dancing.
But I don't know. It's just like you're saying, different times.
Right.
Time
Well, I think
goes
the
on.
Bavarian Festival has gone from a week to a weekend in Frankenmuth.
They're breaking it down to 2 or 3 days opposed to 7.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Okay.
And I don't know. You got the Bavarian Festival, then you got the Polka Fest. Now
That's probably bigger, but these days,
well, that's I don't know.
or it used to be.
Well, yeah, they used to have a couple, 2, 3 tents set up for that. Now they got the pavilion built.
Right.
I guess and I don't know how. I've never been there, to tell you the truth. I've never been to the Polka Fest, but I don't know how many nights they have it now, in comparison to what they had before. But I know the pulled in the hubcaps. They were wow.
Yeah,
They were
Teresa
off.
was talking about that band.
Yeah.
remember?
She helped do that.
Yeah, they would be there sometimes for 2 weeks, weren't they? I mean, it was
They
amazing.
were, oh yeah, they were.
But that's,
Oh, my God.
again, that's faded away too. The love of that 50s early
Yeah.
60s music that they play, that's kind of diminished in popularity now.
Right.
I don't think those bands would draw like they used to.
It's not classic rock anymore.
Well, it's pre-classic. I think.
It's like
Right.
Phil Dirt and the Dozers.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
Yeah.
So when Pat went on to become a dentist in the mid 70s or early 70s,
Yeah.
you took it over.
Well,
Late 60s?
yeah, about then, yeah.
And it became Gary Taylor and the Happy
And
Happy Nights.
That's the picture of
And that's the one release you have is this 45 single?
This 145, yeah. And
That's-
I don't even have it.
I've never seen that until today. Thank you for bringing that, Fred. That's amazing. I
Yeah,
always wanted to see
now
that.
now I know who it is. That was the only one that he
You know
gave
who
me
the
that-
celebrity is. You should be honored.
Yeah, there you go.
We're gonna have to sign it.
Yeah, better get
That's
that
too
autograph
cool.
on there.
Absolutely.
I don't know, my penmanship isn't
me
very
see
good.
that,
Where did you record that at, Gary?
Pardon me?
Where did you record that at?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we recorded it. Now that's quite a while ago, at right back at Sound Studios.
Where this was cut
Yeah, in Detroit.
in Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
And on this album here, they had a different group of people. Now this record here is the same record, Sound Studios, that recorded Marv Herzog.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She said that he did a lot of recordings down there.
And they were good.
Yeah.
They were good recordings. I remember playing them Marv over the radio, and it was good quality, good everything, And look at here, Scott.
We're talking about the Pat Lepeak and
Yeah.
the Starliners
Yeah,
album.
look at here. Look at that.
2 minutes. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
totally wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just put 2 minutes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, I mean,
misprints. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
all 2 minutes.
so they had a different group of people
Didn't know
Doing
that.
the
putting
album
that
artwork.
out. Yeah, doing the cover work. Yeah, and the engineering. Oh my God.
It wasn't good,
No, it was terrible.
which is why you needed the bass
It
louder.
was, we got a whole box of, we're a bunch of kids. We got 2 boxes of records, LPs. Brought them over to my house. I had the biggest stereo. We're gonna put her on and try it out, see what it sounds like. Okay. So I took that baby out of the wrapper and put her on the turntable and turned it on. What do we get? This band started playing, all on the left.
Oh, you told me this story.
Nothing on the right.
Yeah.
Nothing on the right. Band started playing. It was playing. Then the vocals come on. Went over on the right. All vocals. Nothing on the left. Then the band played again. Nothing in the center. It was, oh my God.
Oh, and those are the ones that are these ones, or did you destroy those and get a new print?
No. They did them over. Not
Okay.
the cover was, stayed the same. But,
Yeah, it's 2 minutes, and
they did them over. Yeah.
I remember you telling me this. Or there was you had 2 boxes of recorded or vinyl cut records.
Yeah.
Unbelievable! I forgot about that story.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's a rare one if you got one of those out there. A Pat Lepeak and the Starliners that has
Yeah.
stereo separation with nothing going down the middle.
Oh my God!
He's physically hurt.
It's just like a ping pong ball is what it was.
Oh, Gary, you could tell that was still pissed about this.
Am I ever?
Good.
That sounds like a Bobo Jenkins album.
Oh, really?
Record. That's the way.
Was that done in Detroit? Because he was down there, right?
Well, it was in Detroit, but at his own studio.
Oh, right.
But he would have his voice over on the right and the band coming out of the left speaker. And they weren't together. It was just his voice coming out there. And the band, you could hear over there. And you thought, that's not right.
Yeah.
But he said, I was taught by an RCA Victor engineer. And I thought, Okay.
Well, apparently he went over to this studio with Gary's Polka band too.
Well, just like I was talking to, well, it wasn't Steve Javisky, but it was Gary Mueller, a member of Steve's band. And I was talking to him, somehow I got in touch with him. Maybe I called him or I just happened to talk to him, and I congratulated him on the sound of his record to come out. He had put a new LP out. It's, I think, the first LP they put out, and under Steve's name, you know, and it really sounded good. Good bass, good everything, good separation. And I says, where did you have that recorded? He says, well, we did some of it in so-and-so's basement and some of it in so-and-so's basement, and I did a little dubbing myself. And I says, what? I said, how? I said, well, that's the way we put it together. We just kind of cobbled it together. And I said, my gosh. I said, my God, it sounds like it was recorded in RCA studio, if it exists anymore. I don't know. But,
Right.
I mean, it was, you know, just terrific, you know, the way it sounded, you know, the way it was mastered and balanced and fidelity and everything about it, you know.
Mm-hmm. You're a stickler on that. That's one thing I got to learn from you. You like your good sounding records, that's for sure, and the good sounding music. I love that. You know, there's a lot of serious people that coming out of that era that were like, hey, we're not fooling around. You know, not just throw it down on a vinyl and print it and go.
Right.
But then when you told me that story about the sound separation, that's incredible. How many of those 45s did you print?
I don't think it was that many. It must have been 500 to 1,000.
I gotta find one.
Yeah,
That's too
wasn't
cool.
that
Good
many.
luck.
Right?
Gary, do you remember where you pressed them? Was it done at?
I don't.
Probably.
I think Jim took care of that.
Okay.
Yeah, Jim took care of that.
So yeah, you recorded it in Detroit.
It recorded.
Yeah, so it's probably pressed there too.
recorded
That
in
makes
Detroit,
sense.
yes. So it must have been recorded in same place that, you know, press the LPs, you know.
Did you tour outside of Michigan for Pat Lepeak or yourself, or how far did you get out when you played your shows? Did you go outside of Michigan at all?
I think once we went into Wisconsin with Pat, and no, Scott, I think mostly we played just about all of our jobs in Michigan, all around Michigan, and Posen was a big thing with us. We played the yearly Posen Potato Festival, and it was Clem Mishek. He always called us up. He was the head of the whole shebang down there, and always called us up and wanted us to play, and we always had a ball. Drew a crowd. Oh my gosh, it was really, really fun down in Posen.
They still do that down there?
Pardon me?
Do they still do that down there?
Yeah, as far as I know.
That was the name that came up, I think,
I
both.
think Steve played it.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah.
As far as I know, yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they know, well, we played 1 year in the pavilion. You know, we played all the years they had a tent. Now they got a pavilion down there. And we played 1 year in the pavilion, or 2 years. Now, that's it. I don't know. And what year we quit playing there, I'm not sure. Years fly.
Yeah.
So did you ever play?
So does memory.
Did you ever play in Frankenmuth?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Polish bands played in.
Yeah, not that many times. Not that
Okay.
many times, no.
Because Marv Herzog, was he like the hero of
Oh,
polka bands?
he was the hero. Yeah, he was the big one. He was the big guy in Frankenmuth. Oh, no doubt. Marv was big. Marv was big.
How about Frank Yankovic?
Well, that's going back a ways.
Okay.
Um,
So that was
no,
kind of
I remember as kids we were dancing around in Phoenix Park or we'll fool around in the little skating rink. I don't know what the heck we were doing, running around in Frankie Yankovic doing the Just Because polka. Oh, always like that Just Because polka with Frankie Yankovic. Always like that.
So you never played with him or had any performances with him? That was before your time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I hear Frankie, you know, I heard him, but, you know, it was a kind of a Eastern style type of music, and you like it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good sounding, but it is something I like more of a Chicago style with the horns or the honky style.
What did the Czechoslovakian sound do for you?
Czechoslovakian, I don't.
That was more button box we heard on one of our shows.
Button box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not much into that.
They were saying a lot of Owasso area. And,
Yeah.
and all three would travel down to Hamtramck, but Polish was still the big thing down there.
Yeah,
Right?
Polish is big in Hamtramck. Yeah.
You did a lot of shows there?
In Hamtramck, we did. We did a couple. We did a couple times down in Hamtramck. Yes. Yeah. Always liked their. Always they had their strawberry festival down there.
Mm.
Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
In Hamtramck, always played that. Not all the time, but maybe 3-4 times we played down there.
When we started the show, you said you wrapped up the Gary Taylor band in 81, 82.
Yeah, about 81, 80. Yeah, about 81, I think.
Did you do anything after that, or guest appearances, or
I
limited
just,
shows?
just rested a bit, and I was doing some playing around with Gene. Played with Gene Wisdella for quite a bit.
Oh, you went out again for a little while with Gene?
Oh yeah. Played with Gene. Quite a bit.
Just gigs, shows.
Yeah, some weddings, a lot of festivals, and I played with Stan Javitsky. Oh, this was back before. Maybe in the 70s sometime. Early 70s, I had it when Stan was playing over the sandbar, and he needed a reed man a couple times. So I played with Stan. Yeah, it was quite an experience. It's kind of a scary experience actually, because he had an excellent reed man, Rich Kowalski. I don't know if you know Rich Kowalski.
No.
I mean, he could breathe in that thing and play.
Non-stop, huh?
Yeah. Awesome guy. Me, I mean, I was, I was okay, I was good, but not a Rich Kowalski. I did my best,
Yeah.
and I did the job, but I wasn't satisfied with myself,
Yeah. When was your last shows? When was your last shows?
Last shows?
Yeah, that you played. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Maybe in the 90s.
Oh, okay. You played into the 90s.
Yeah. With Jim Lepeak, I played some jobs with. When Jim Lepeak had a job, he in some festivals, mainly festivals. I played with Jim. Quite a few jobs, and that was about it. After I played with Jim, I more or less just sobered right down to nothing. I just.
Yeah, that was.
It was just, I played and quit, and I took a rest, and I played some jobs with Gene, and then I went with Jim, I should say, and that was it.
Well, you have lots of good memories, though.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, just nothing like playing with a good, with Polish crowd out there and playing polkas and seeing all the good times being had. You know,
Right. You were playing at a good time,
Yes.
too, when there was a lot of
Yes.
enthusiasm, which,
And I mean,
I guess
polka
is not the
twisting,
case.
and
No.
oh my God, and the fancy dancers out there, and
What was your favorite song to play?
favorite song.
What lit it up every night for you?
Well, I would say my favorite song. I don't want to be. I would say the clarinet polka
The clarinet polka. Wow. Okay.
because I
About
like
the-
to play it.
Yeah, that was that was for you.
How about the party time polka?
Yeah, it's all right. It's something we come
Did you
up
write
with.
those two songs on the 45?
Yeah.
You wrote those.
Yeah, it doesn't have songwriter
Well,
credit. Well, yeah,
Rose-
yes,
I
it
didn't get a
does.
chance to look at it yet.
Yeah,
but-
right
Oh,
up on
there it
top.
does.
Oh, the
Well, it says party time. It's got
party time.
Lepeak.
Yeah, party time. Jim wrote.
Yeah, and then
The happy time.
Bill Bellina.
There was another number we just pasted the happy nights, I should say. We pasted the happy nights title on there, Happy Nights Polka, and it was another instrumental. It's an instrumental that
You played saxophone too, though.
yes, played clarinet, tenor sax, alto sax.
I remember that at the show that
Yeah.
you said, "I'm not just going to play that, Scott." And then, of course, Dad had to pull out the clarinet at
In
home.
fact, that old tenor is still up in the rafters in the garage.
Well, keep me in mind.
Yep,
I love those old tenors.
yep.
My daughter's got my dad's clarinet now, and we have it up playing. She started playing it this year, last
yeah?
year. Yeah.
What kind of a clarinet? What do you have?
Selmer.
A
Selmer. Yep. It's
Yeah.
that orange case Selmer. I went and had it repadded, and she's just loves playing saxophone. So she's like, I want to play Grandpa's clarinet, and she's doing it. She just learns. She's got a bass. She plays bass at home.
Well, I got a nice Selmer American sax, good shape, and all it needs is a good repadding.
You got one
It
too.
needs to be gone over. I mean, it's standing. I had it hanging on the ceiling for a while. I had a little memoriam there in my little nook in the computer room,
Really?
with my records up there and a few notes and G clefs, sax hanging down from a planter hook, and
Your studio.
yeah.
Well, Gary,
me.
thank you for all your years of playing and sharing the stories with us. We this is a good gap. We haven't had a polka. I think we did one the first season and one the second season, and we were on. You'll be out here in the fifth season and probably with this. So, thank you for bringing your stories and sharing them with us.
Well,
Yeah, it
my
was great,
pleasure,
Gary.
Scott.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
It's really nice meeting you also.
Thank you.
On behalf of our hosts, this podcast wouldn't be here without generosity of the Bay City Historical Museum, which hosts the Rock and Roll Legends Hall of Fame. We'd also like to thank all of our guests and especially to the listeners. The MMHP is found at 989.network or where all podcasts can be found. You can find updated information as well as Dr. J and Sir Fred's Picks of the Week on Facebook. Also on Facebook, check out Mr. Mike's Local Music Live series and Scott's Mid-Mitten 15 from Harvest Canteen Studios, featuring one-on-one interviews with Michigan music artists. You can connect with Scott on the web at scottbakermusic.com, Dr. J at michiganrockandrolllegends.com, Sir Fred at fredrife.com, and Mr. Mike on YouTube as Mr. BT1. That's MRBTEE and the number 1.
On behalf of us hosts, Dr. J, Sir Fred, Mr. Mike, and myself,